user Saphir and no top 8s. Basically $23,000 of earnings for Delta to 850 of Saphir, and also, not to mention, Delta being a previous Galaxy Cup champion, having won the E1v1s for Galaxy Cup Crescent. So, and with how Delta's been playing today, for once I might actually believe this is kind of an underdog story, because Delta, I mean, is coming off just absolutely running through Same. Like, despite the fact that some of those matches went down to lost stock, it never felt like Delta was out of control. And right here, we're seeing a very similar thing. Saphir, really nice use of that ground pound. They're using the grounded version to get the fastest start up. That's a very niche aspect to Axe's kit, where if you do the ground pound closer to the ground, you have slightly faster start up as it automatically starts when you slam into the ground. So very good character knowledge here, and it's showing as Saphir actually taking the advantage here and keeping Delta starved for a weapon.
Can we just take a moment? Like, this has nothing to do with the match. I just want to say BMG did a great job designing this match. This map, I should say.
Absolutely.
Visually, oh, Delta?
Very well-placed recovery there, to be honest. Just
it's
completely...
Okay.
Oh, well...
There goes Delta's lead. I find it really amazing because Axe recovery is one of those moves that takes a while, not only to start up, but also to travel during its animation and before the hitbox comes out. So to be that precise with your movement and still hit it, that's just a talent. Like, only actual X players can do that. Because you know how you're like, this character is good in a certain game mode, so I will play them. That's not Delta, that's not Saphir either. They're both on a level 100 legend. Both of these guys are experts at their craft.
Absolutely, and you were saying that recovery comes out so slowly, but in the hands of Delta, it feels twice as fast, to be honest. And regardless, Saphir braving the storm that has been Delta so far this tournament as he takes another lead here, but Delta quick to try to turn things around, finds the D-Light seg, and hold this stage control. And one thing that I've always credited Delta for is having some of the best advantage state play out in European Brawlhalla. As we see there, he can turn one hit into so many more. But still,
Delta is making a hammer look like a string weapon. What is he doing?
This is what I mean. That's what I mean. He finds one hit and he can take that advantage and press it so hard. Almost to the point where it seems absolutely unfair, but it's just the knowledge of these weapons. And regardless still, even with that talent that we've been seeing demonstrated, Saphir has been eking out these wins in neutral to a point where, I mean, I was going to say it's...
Don't say that, so don't say that, Delta.
It's not
Delta's
in his favor
cooking
anymore. Okay, Saphir finds the side. They're going to give him stage control. Delta just making his way back up, but Saphir once again taking that stage control, swapping to the axe. Probably looking for a big side air here, but the neutral light will once again secure that space.
Dodges the D-Sig. Saphir off stage, Delta hammer in hand. Gets the recovery.
Oh,
can you get the
finisher?
finisher?
To you.
Goes for the
That
second
happened
recovery.
to you.
No weapon, still lives.
Disarm. Delta
Gets a
running out of
touch.
options here.
Saphir
Manages
on
to
the
make it
lands.
back.
And Light doesn't take the knockout off of Delta. Weapon throw. Oh no.
Just barely enough, a clean, crisp 600 exact damage coming out of Saphir to take the first game. And I mean, we said it already, underdog stories do not exist in this timeline. They just don't exist. All stats are out of the window for this tournament. I mean, like I said, we saw Saphir single-handedly took down Seed 1 of this entire tournament in the first round of Top 32.
Saphir is just on demon time. It's insane. But let's not forget, Delta is still in this because it didn't feel like Saphir was constantly having the upper hand. It was kind of like a back and forth.
Yeah, no, it was
Saphir
like,
could have just as well gotten knocked out as Delta. They were pretty similar in damage both on their last stock.
It was really down to the fact that Saphir found a very well-timed weapon disarm on Delta that gave him so much control and space, where Delta was forced to try to make his way back to stage without a weapon. That Saphir could just take that much control from Delta, and
exactly.
Hammer
was
is
a
a
really
weapon.
good use of Delta being put in a disadvantaged position, losing the weapon, being off stage, then having no stage control.
Oh, and speaking of stage control, Saphir's going to take it again, but the exhaustive recovery, and Saphir just swings right back, blow for blow from these players here, and Saphir once again, it's a lead, but it's not a big one. Delta, especially with a legend like Terrorist, one side air with this axe will be enough to close it out here. Goes for the GCN, I won't be able to find it, and now every single hit that Saphir can find is a small bit of value. Does fall to the axe, but has Delta deep in the yellow here on this second stock. And if Saphir can go blow for blow, Olgrim has the stats and the weapon kit to afford almost to trade with Teros. And so far, trades aren't even necessary as he's just getting so much unanswered damage here. Delta at risk of losing the second stock already, gets caught by the recovery, and Saphir's there again off the side of the stage. Doesn't find the down heavy. Can he secure this clean knockout? Right, there goes
Big spot dodge.
Delta
doesn't get any follow-ups. Delight misses the Sair. Gets KO'd from center stage. Delta on potential tournament stock right there. Because remember, this is the lower side of bracket. If Delta loses this match.
Game 2, buddy.
Oh wait, is this game 2? Bro, they've been going so hard at it. It feels like game 3.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get you. And now Saphir almost a full stock ahead of Delta. That's a very raw and sick. Kind of a rare loss of composure here from Delta, because we very rarely see those signals come out. They're almost... we almost
wake up ground pound. Can we talk about that?
Only one EU ranked Nutter, and now Delta going for the juggle with the unarmed, but forced off the side. It's the same situation again. No weapon, but actually does manage to take back the control. Just ripping...
Oh my.
Delta, I don't know if you want that, as Saphir takes the 2-stock victory in game 2. And I do want to mention that. I mean, we saw 2 times there, Delta just diving off stage, first for the axe neutral signature, and then second with an unarmed down heavy. And I was going to say, we very rarely see these heavy attacks coming out of Delta. With a character like Teros, you don't really need them to get what you need for knockouts, right? I mean, you have Delight Stay on the hammer, you have half of Axe's kit to secure the knockouts. You can play it completely... I mean, we see... How often do you see Kaini with Sig on Teros? You don't. Because you don't need it, and quite often it's actually less optimal because it's way more punishable. And Delta usually is a very similar story. We very rarely see the signatures because he has the composure and control to just avoid it. And so far, he's getting a lot of control here onto Sapphire, but I feel like last game he sort of lost that composure just a little bit, especially in those edge guard situations. But now, at least taking a small damage lead here in game number 3.
I think this is the first time that I've seen Delta in the damage lead. Getting that weapon throw. Oh, that GCD light was so unfortunate.
Oh!
What, how did...
Oh no! Heartbreaking.
We've not... okay, there we go. 3 times the charm. Even damage. Gets just that weapon. Both looking for the earliest KO option. And that Sair takes a Delta, actually a stock lead for once.
Yeah, I mean... Going into this, we definitely didn't expect this to, one, be so close every single game. Besides, I mean,
there we go. Speaking of close.
Yeah, it is just blow for blow, at least here. Last game was a bit more dominant for Saphir, but we definitely didn't expect it to be, let alone, or not even this close, let alone currently 2-0 up in Saphir's favor. Delta finally playing in a way we sort of expected here as he finds that side. It goes for the ground pound and gets punished accordingly, and just jumping up and up. Saphir reading every single jump, and in that one interaction, almost turning the damage around. That's going to be enough. The raw strength of Teros and right on the edge there. The perfect positioning will be barely enough to secure that early knockout against Saphir.
Delta gets the read with the ground pound, gets that weapon throw, no follow-up. Back to neutral, weapon thrown to Enlight. Delta building this damage lead and the stock lead even further and further. Misses the punish on the gravity cancel but avoids the D-Sig. And Delta just jumping around waiting for Saphir to make a mistake. Punishes with D-Light. Delta extending his lead further and further. Oh, goes for that cheeky Sair, hoping to scare Saphir into doing a jump. But don't go off stage against Hammer, never mind.
Oh, I mean, I guess you can if you're Saphir. Finding the knockout.
You can if you can Saphir, you just proved it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get recovered by a Hammer if the Hammer player is not on the screen anymore, you know?
I mean, you're right. Delta one well-placed neutral light away from securing the victory here, though Saphir has to play it perfectly if he wants to take the 3-0. But the second that D-Light connects, both players know that game is over. Finally, Delta putting one game on the board in his name and looking to go to a game 5 who wants to win this set and stay in the tournament.
Delta is still in this. I mean, I can't say I'm surprised, because this is the kind of performance that we've seen from Delta also in top 8 in the previous casting block. But this might be the momentum swap that Delta needed, because he was kinda getting tossed around in the first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, kind of. I feel like it's definitely been a case of Saphir knowing what Delta's game plan is and knowing where Delta's strengths are. But I mean, Delta, as a player who's been around this long, knows how to adapt those things. But regardless, Saphir, I think his positioning as well. He's so precise with the axe. We see him catching these hits that just calling out the spacing of Delta so well. But Delta manages to find the dodge through that down sig, and now blow for blow off the side here with these axes. Saphir taking the stage control, manages to get over the end light, and there it is, that spacing, that positioning, the recovery. Oh, goes
No
for
dodge.
the ground pound, gets caught.
Punish.
You don't want to go off stage against Delta here. Does manage to survive and hasn't taken too much damage in that engagement. Delta still very much on the back foot, but not playing like it. Not playing like he's taken any damage whatsoever. Going deep for that ground pound. Doesn't hit his mark. We've seen Saphir. I just want to note here. He's changed his lance skin again. It's like the 3rd one we've seen.
I haven't even been paying attention to the skins, I'm gonna be real. I think you might be the only one out of the 4 people here that's noticing that. Delta, oh! What I like about Delta's adaptation in his current game plan is that he's much less neutral focused as he was in the first 2 games, because I felt like playing too much neutral is what lost him a lot of interactions and a lot of trades against Saphir. But now he's getting more comfortable going for weapon throw extensions and just generally longer strings.
Dude.
But Saphir is fighting back hard. Delta getting a
that's
beautiful
not
punish.
good. Yeah, perfectly placed punish there for Delta. I mean, that was the best option he could have picked there. Saphir just overextending and forcing himself to fully charge that lance recovery, and now Delta playing from the back foot again, but not by too much. Has entered the orange and is nearing that red state of damage, but okay, now he's in it. Oh, doesn't go for the ground. I mean, he had the jump, right? Well, maybe he didn't.
Dodge caught by the D-Light, but no punish from Saphir. Sarah still hitting. That takes out Delta. This map is smaller than I keep thinking. Because it feels like, especially horizontally, they die earlier than I keep assuming.
Yeah,
That gets punished for Delta.
This map can be quite akin to Smooth Brawl in a lot of ways, and the Kero boxes are almost similar to that, but still Delta now battling for his tournament life here. Deep in the yellow, almost early in the orange on his final stock. Rips out the D-Sig, and there's that lack of composure again, looking to just try and snatch away that stock, and gets punished accordingly for it. Saphir so ready to just play this trading game with Delta. Does get caught by the side air, but still a good bit of value here for Saphir.
Delta wants those D-Light into recovery follow-ups. He wants those Russian Mafias or some variation on it.
Oh.
But he doesn't need it to get the damage back. Recovery comes through. D-Light recovery.
Delta!
No, that's not it.
Doesn't find the weapon
misses,
throw.
but Saphir's weaponless. Doesn't go for the weapon starve. The side sig, Saphir!
He did it! He clutched it out
of nowhere.
Over Delta. I mean, Delta was just moments away from stealing that back from under the nose of